I've been doing this work for a long time. This physical work that I've been doing for like probably about like inner work that I do. I've been doing this for about like probably more than 7 years or so. That work is to actually feel how you or how I am currently feeling. And this is like it might sound like a normal thing, like feel what we are currently feeling. You feel like it's a normal thing, but a lot of times people tend to not be honest of what they're actually feeling. Like for example, say they are feeling lonely or they're feeling angry or they're feeling sad, they tend to like kind of camouflage what their true feelings are, because say you're with someone or say you're in a situation that you can't really express your current feeling, so you kind of hide that. You kind of like make it blur that you don't really feel your emotion to protect yourself. And the work that I've been doing is whenever the emotion comes out of you, as soon as it's like a think of it as like some fresh vegetable or fresh sushi or something. When it's fresh, you like for example, when it's a sushi, when it's fresh, you have to eat it as soon as it's while it's fresh, right? So with emotion, it's like that. When the emotion comes out, as soon as your emotion comes out, you have to feel it. You really have to feel it as soon as the emotion comes out. But a lot of time, we all tend to like, suppress that emotion. I been doing it for a long time as well. And as soon as the emotion comes out, as soon as I feel sad, I try to be like, I'm fine, whatever. I try to be all cool about it. But, recently I been doing this work. This one of my coach told me about like feeling emotions, and I'm like, okay, I think I know this one. I've been doing it, but I'm starting to realize what she really meant. It's like feeling into like a dark side of my emotion, like feel and be that character and just stay with it. And that I'm like, yes, I've been doing this, but then I'm finally kind of understanding that now. Like for example, I just had this like strong sadness coming into me, feeling very lonely. I'm like, okay, this emotion comes out, and usually I'm like, oh, I would say you're doing things and you're like, even if you feel lonely, you're focused on other things and you try not to really feel because you have to focus on whatever you're doing. But what I just did is like, as soon as I felt lonely, I started feeling into it, and I gave myself a little time to just feel into my lonely emotion that I feel don't blend in anywhere. It's like, oh my god, I'm feeling this emotion. And before, I think even if this emotion comes out, I'm like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I kind of get faded away with my daily routine or daily life, that I never really felt into how I was feeling. And today I did that. I'm like, okay, I know that I don't need to be lonely. I have so many supportive people around me. I have so many things that I feel grateful for, but somehow that emotion came out, and I'm like, whoa, what is this? And I try to become that shadow side of me. I try to fuse it with it, as if like you're stretching into like a yoga stretch, like you do yoga stretch. It's like it's a little bit painful, but it feels good, and just like make love with that painful emotion. Just breathe into it, become one with it, and you have sit with it for probably about like, I think you will really need time, probably about 15 minutes. I needed 15 minutes to do that. And by doing so, you are able to kind of become one with your shadow side and become like embrace those emotion. And I thought I'd been doing this, but I wasn't in this depth. And thanks to my coach, she taught me about that. And again, I'm like, okay, it's sinking into me now that like it's like a roller coaster ride. Your emotion comes and goes, right? So whenever that emotion comes out, I was doing it while I was trying to feel while I was doing something. But what I today want to recommend all of you who's watching this is whenever that emotion comes out of you, that negative emotion that you don't really want to feel because it's painful, make yourself at least 15 minutes to sit with it. For example, you're in the midst of something. If you can, try to make time by yourself. Go to the bathroom or something, say you're working. Sit with it for 15 minutes. Breathe in to it. Make love to that pain. You know? Nourish it. And be that shadow, you know, that darkness. And just sit with it and see how it feels. And you feel like this is gonna be endless, you know, it's gonna go on forever. You can't get out from this darkness. But no, when you really feel into that pain, you are actually able to get out from it. Actually, you're able to evolve in a better way. You become even stronger than before. So what I truly recommend is feel into that shadow side. And you know, probably people will be like, I've been doing it, but don't feel into it while you're doing something. Make this certain time, give yourself time for at least 15 minutes to really dive deep and feel into it. Make love to that pain whenever it appears, when you can. You know, I'm not saying you should do it all the time, but when you can, please do it. So yes, that's one message that I wanted to share today, okay? My baby's crying, so I gotta go.